Spencer here for SunsetSpeedway.ca. I'm here on Garry Reynolds Memorial Eve. 2 days ago until the big invitation. We're getting ready for it. Sunset Speedway this Friday. 75-lap late model event to headline the card. And this young man in the number 90 car will be in the field, none other than third-generation competitor Jordan Latimer, who is, of course, the grandson of the late Garry Reynolds. And Jordan, you got to race in this event last year on the undercard, in a Thundercard Barry. Got to be a part of it. I guess the event sort of washed out. But now you get to do it properly. Now you're in the main event. You're out there with the late model, 75 laps. I mean, what does it mean to you to finally get to participate in this race? I mean, you've been a guest of honor at this race a few years ago. You were in the pit area for it last year, but to finally be in the show this Friday, what does that mean to you?
Well, we are actually going to, by the sounds of it, we're actually going to race because it's not going to rain out.
Forecast looks good, my man.
Hopefully there's no accidents or anything in the first practice or anything like that. That's what happened the first year. I got in a wreck there in the heat. Didn't get to do it. And then it rained last year. Didn't get to do it. So it's my third shot at it. Hopefully third time's a charm. So I say the same thing every year. Like it feels amazing to have like my grandma and everyone is all behind me, and she's been talking to me every day and telling me how proud she is of me, and she wishes me luck and everything. So it means a lot to me to be able to race this week. I found my grandpa's gloves in his trophy case, so I'm gonna wear them this week for the race. And
now I know that your entire family has been, maddeningly supportive of you every step of the way. It's been incredible. But with this being, your first extended distance race in a late model, the Memorial race at Sunset, and just all the factors going, is there a chance that this could have the biggest Reynolds Latimer turnout of any event you've ever done? I mean, are we going to get everybody in the same place at the same time this Friday in terms of family support?
Possibly. I'm not sure. We had a lot the first year. I think we had like everybody the first year when I got in the wreck there in the first heat. But last year everyone came too, so I'm thinking everyone's going to come this year. Usually we do. At Barry we had like a roped off section for us, so we filled that, and hopefully everyone comes. I think everyone's planning on coming. So,
I mean, I know that you've been a part of some Crown Jewel events in the past. I mean, you were at the Autumn Colors Classic last year, and you've been a part of the Velocity. But for this event, with how special it is to your team, I mean, is this really as big as it gets for you in 2015?
Yeah, I've been pumped I've had the date marked on the calendar. Like, it's the Friday before the NCATS race, so all week I've been pumped for it. Like, I made sure I was like, Dad, we need new tires for this. We need this. Like, we're going to go out there and we're going to rock. So we need to get everything set so we can actually, I want to go out there and I want to turn everyone's head, and I want to go out and make a good run. Like every weekend I want to do that, but this weekend it's extra special, and I want to make sure that I'm putting 120% and giving it my all.
Well, I mean, the improvement in has it been 4 weeks, 3 weeks? How many starts do we have this year? Three? Three weeks. So in 3 short weeks, the improvement's been noticeable. I mean, even last Saturday, qualifying in the top 10, you beat the boss, Gordy. So every single time you roll this car out of the trailer, it seems like you get a little bit better. Do you feel as though you're evolving as a competitor as the weeks go by?
Yeah, every week we unload, like every race. We have 2 features a night, so every time I go out, I feel like I gain more respect from the drivers, and they don't just see me as a rookie. Like, they see this kid can race. Like, he's been midfield up front a little bit. Like, they can race with me, and I'm gaining more trust in the car. I can get more comfortable. I'll get more comfortable with my competitors, learn how all they are, and I mean it's all time. Same with Undercar last year. It took a couple weeks to get used to the car and used to everybody, and how everyone runs up front, and how it's taken me a little bit to figure out Sunset and how everyone runs out Sunset. Like at Barry, we couldn't run too wide for 20 laps, and last week I was running basically the whole race on the high side. And for instance at Barry, if your car handled on the outside, it was most likely going to be good on the inside, and at Sunset it can handle good on the outside and be total garbage on the inside, or vice versa. So last week we were handling good on the outside, and I kind of like it on the outside though, because most guys run the inside, so you can just run right around them. So
now, you mentioned in a recent story that Gord Shepard and Peter Shatanis and Mike Brown have sort of combined to be your mentor, driver coach this year. I guess with Gordy being on track with you, it's difficult for him to play that role like he did last season.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how Mr. Shatanis and Mr. Brown have sort of stepped up to help Gordy fill that role in 2015.
I mean, Gordy helps still a lot. Like, he'll come over and ask us if we need a hand and all that. But Mike ran this car last year, and he knows setup. He knows like how it handles and everything. So he'll come over and tell me, like, in turn 3 you're doing this, but I know the car wants to do this. So try and run this line, and it should work for you. And then Peter will come over and he'll ask me what it's doing, and he knows every inch of this car and how it works. So he'll come over and tell us an adjustment to do, like give us a suggestion. So they helped a lot. Like since the first week, we've changed quite a bit of stuff on the car, and it's just from Peter and Mike and Gordy all helping out and everything.
Now this Saturday, after perfecting time trials for 3 straight weeks, now you get to go back to heat races, which I'm sure you're pretty pumped up about because you were you developed a knack for that last year in a Thunder car. You were awfully good in 10-lap spurts. So now we get to do that on Friday. You've never done it in a late model before. So is it going to be a little bit different than are 10 laps in a late model going to be different than 10 laps in a Thunder car?
I mean, I'm not sure. Like, I know this car, like when I run the car, like in qualifying, I know I get faster as qualifying goes on. Like 3 laps, I get fastest on my 3rd lap. So I feel like the car will come in around lap 5, and then I'll stay there till lap 10, and I'll be the best it can be, and it won't fall off at the end. Like, you can use the whole car and everything, and there'll be, like, I know there's going to be fast times. It'll probably be fast consistently through the heat races, and then you'll see people fall off, or their car will come in like halfway through the feature.
How important is it going to be to qualify at the front and get into the redraw for the 75-lap event?
Oh, it's going to be huge. There's like 30 cars on any given night at Sunset, and then all the other guys come in, so, you know, half or more of those guys could be running up front, so it just makes it the top 18 or whatever is going to qualify in. Just going to make it that much more close, and we want to make sure that we can qualify in, so we don't have to go to the B main and try and race our way in, because we know the B main is going to be crazy. So try and qualify in.
When it comes to equipment preservation and sort of taking care of your car, obviously if you start at the back, I guess you gotta throw caution to the wind. But if you start at the front, sort of preserving your brakes and tires is a pretty popular strategy, I know, at Sunset. How important is that going to be for you on Friday night to keep this car under you to make sure that you still have something left when you get into the deep water?
I learned that last week. Like last week in Feature 2, we started on the outside, and I feel like I used the car too much at the beginning of the race on the high side. I feel like I used it too much, and midway through the race it kind of fell off and started loosening up and everything, so I didn't have much left at the end. But in the Thunder car, I learned that you have to save your stuff if it's a long race. So, like last year at Fall Colors or at Velocity, you had to save the car. So you had something for the guys in front of you at the end. So I feel like it won't be as hard to do it in late model. Like it'll be hard, but it won't be any different than the Thunder car.
Now, 75 laps, longest you've ever spent in a race car. I mean, you've never gone this long behind the wheel of a car before. Is that intimidating on its own? I mean, knowing that you're getting ready for an event of this magnitude, that you're going to have to put in that much work as opposed to the 35 lappers that you've become accustomed to on a Saturday night?
Not really. I mean, when I don't know about any other driver, but I'm in the car and we're doing, say we do 20 green flag laps and we'll get a caution, it'll feel like we've only done like 10 or 5 to me, just because I don't know what it is, but I could stay out there for 300 laps if they wanted us to. I love being in the car and everything, so longer the better, I see. So,
tell me a little bit about when you found out that Barry wasn't going to be around, and that, you know, for a moment there, the Reynolds Memorial had sort of ceased to exist, and then Mark Dilley made the decision to approach the family and ask if he could continue on that show. Tell me a little bit about how you found out and how you felt when you found out that the race was going to be able to continue on.
Well, the schedule was already made for Sunset when Barry Speedway closed, so they couldn't really change any dates around or anything. And I guess a month or two before the season started, Mark called like my grandma, my uncle, like all of us, and he asked like, what's our opinion on him holding the Garry Reynolds race? And we all said thank you for like doing it and everything, and we think it's a great idea. And so he said, well, we won't be able to have it on a regular weekend because we don't really have any free weekends. But he said he's going to try and make it a Friday night and try and make it as big as it was at Barrie, if not bigger. So personally, I think it's awesome, and I'm very thankful that he did it and everything. I'm glad to see it's still going on, and if he didn't, I don't think I would ever got to start one. So, but I'm excited, I'm happy, and hopefully this weekend goes well.
When you hear veteran guys like Gord Shepard and Dwayne Baker, guys that have won big races and they've won championships, and you hear them talk about this race, I mean, those are two dyed-in-the-wool Barrie guys, and they really respect this race, and they respect the history and the man that it's honoring. So when you hear guys like that sort of speak about what this race means, I mean, that's got to make you feel special knowing that you're sort of a part of that racing lineage.
Yeah, like I hear guys all the time saying like, oh, the Invitational, like the Garry Reynolds, and they're excited to be a part of it and everything. It kind of gives me chills going down my spine because he is my grandfather, and we were pretty close, and it's just amazing how much people respect him and how much he meant to everybody, and it just, I don't know, it just makes me feel happy that people respect him and respect all that he's done and everything. Like, even though they might have gotten a wreck with him or anything, like they respect him as a driver and as a person, and they I don't know, just.
Now, final question, getting ready for the 75 lapper. Now, I guess this is one of those moments where it's good to have Gordy Shepard to fall back on, right? Because he's been in a lot of these races. I mean, Gordy Shepard is one of those trench warfare sort of guys. He just seems to get better the longer these races are. 75 lap, 100 lap races. Gordy's your guy. Gordy's the guy that you want to keep an eye on. So I got to ask, we're 48 hours away from this event. I'm assuming any bit of advice he's going to give you, he's probably already laid it on you. So give me a sneak peek, man. Has he sort of taken you aside and given you the pep talk? And if so, what has he told you?
Yeah, like you saw it out on Colors last year. Like the longer the race, he came in at the end and he was there. Like there was no holding him back the last half the race.
It just seems like he does that every year. Yeah. I mean, it's a talent for sure.
He's got it down to a routine. He needs to save his stuff for the first half of the race, and then as the race goes on, about midway, start turning it on. Then at the end, it's just full bore, give her and go. But yeah, he's talking to me about it a little bit. Like last year, he did in the Thunder car. Like he told me I have to save my stuff, and he showed me, like he said, just don't drive as hard into the corners, save your brakes, like let off, and you can coast in and save some of your stuff, but don't do it so that you're slow and go to the back. Just do it so you're like still up front a little bit. So he's talking to me a little bit last weekend when I saw him, but he said this week, like he's told me a couple things, and Friday he said he'll talk to me a bit more and just give me a little rundown on how he thinks the race should go and how I think I should use my car.
Go ahead and thank everybody and all the crew members and the marketing partners that are going to make this weekend happen for you.
I got to thank Kitchen Tire, and I got to thank Creatures Design, North River Motorsports, where we are now. This is the new home of the car, and Epic Racewear for the suit I just got in the mail there, so we'll have it for this weekend. Got to thank Get Jack Remax, Kicks 106, 104.1 The Dock, TaxSmart. I have to thank Kruger Electric a ton. We wouldn't be in this car or anything without them. Ken Semkin. And I got to thank TNC Construction, AC Electric. And I think that's pretty well everybody. And
where can we follow you on social media in the days leading up to Sunset, and of course on Friday night once the big event kicks off? Where can we follow you?
At Latimer Jordan on Twitter and Instagram, and GL Motorsports on Facebook.
There you go, folks. So come on out Friday night, 7 o'clock start. Get your tickets online. Skip the line on race day. SunsetSpeedway.ca. Get your e-tickets. Come watch this young man go to work, because I'm telling you, he's one of the rising stars in Ontario. If you haven't seen Jordan Latimer live in person, you got to come and watch him. And I mean, if anyone's ever going to come see you, this is the event to do it at, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm using the car. I already told the guys we might have to redeckle it next week, but we're going to the front.
There you go. We'll throw a new body on it if we have to.
Oh, yeah.
We got new Lexan ready to go just in case.
Yep.
Dad might not agree with that, but he's going to have to live with it.
They always taught me that they can rebuild the car. Like, they can always put new stickers on it. So
there you go. Take that to the bank. Come see him in person, folks. Friday night, Garry Reynolds Memorial, Sunset Speedway. Don't miss it. Jordan, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
We'll check in with you on Friday night. Jordan Latimer for SunsetSpeedway.ca.